Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So hey, I was just gonna make another batch of these lures, and I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because my daughter's sleeping in the next room. So I gotta be real quiet. So I figured I'd just make some of these lures. So I'll get started. Alright, so what I'm using is, I figured I'd probably use a little bit of different hooks. I was gonna try to use these bait holder hooks, and they're number 6s, and it's a pack of 10. So I'm gonna try and give it a shot with some of these. Haven't really tried this style of hook, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Now these are a little bit smaller than what I usually use, but I'm sure it'll work. We'll give it a shot. Never hurts to try. So what I got here is that oven baked clay that I got from Hobby Lobby. There's a couple slices of this. Kind of knead it just a little bit, just kind of smush it around, just so that it's not so hard. See if we can get this around this hook. See what's the best way to put it on these. I don't know, those are gonna be kind of tiny. I'm thinking something like that. But here there's hardly no room to hook. Huh. Yeah. So roll this out a little bit. Just like that. Maybe it will work. Let's try another one. That looks like a lot. Yeah, if you get too much, just set it aside there. Kind of get it shaped on there. Roll it out. And remember, if it doesn't look right to you, and you can just reshape it, it is clay. I mean, it's not going to harden on you or anything like that until after you bake it. So, and this clay that I'm using, you bake at 300 degrees for about 10 minutes, and you should be alright. Don't do it for more than that, or turn up the temperature, because you will ruin them. I think that'll be enough for that one. So I'm sure you guys see how that's coming out. Now this one was a little bit smaller. I kind of like this one, how this one turned out. I used a little bit less, but I actually like the way that one came out. But it's going to be that much harder to paint. But there isn't one of these that's exactly the same. That's the cool thing about these, that all these, I mean, you can try to make them all look the same, but I haven't seen one that's exactly the same. So when you're painting, you're just painting. Put this piece on there. So yeah, you know, it's a little bit of time to do these. And a lot of people don't like to do things that are very time consuming. They just wanna, it's done, you know. Well, you know what? I like doing this kind of stuff. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these guys, and this way you guys don't have to sit here and watch all the rest of them get made. So you get the gist. You know, you can use different color clays. You know, you can use this, but I'm gonna use this, but I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use this just as soon as I get the rest of them done. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so we're doing this last one here. Get this last one done. Cool. Last one. Kind of being a little stubborn. It's alright. If you need to show it who's boss, do so. I'm thinking that's a little too much clay. That's why. Here we go. Better. Okay. It's a little on the wonky side. Just fix that real quick. That. There we go. Okay, so all those are done. Make sure you pick up any of the white. Just put it back into the little white package there. And when you put these away, you can put these away in like a Ziploc bag, or I usually just put them in these other little baggies and then put them into a Ziploc bag and then put them all away. So here I got some green, and this is also the oven baked clay. Oops, lost a little booger there. And so we're gonna use a couple little pieces. I don't think we'll use too much, but well, we'll just roll out the whole thing. So see, I had some white on my fingers and it kind of got mixed in with the green, but it's not enough to really discolor the whole thing, but just kind of need it a little bit. And then you want to roll this out. Till you get a nice thin bead. Just like that. Oh. I mean, this is actually kind of fun, so if you liked like playing with Play-Doh as a kid, this should be fun for you. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to get this long enough to where I can get maybe 10 little pieces. So you get your knife. What I usually do is cut little pieces, but maybe about a 1/2 inch. You know, just kind of set them down. Yeah, knew that last one was gonna do that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. That happened to be a little chunk of it right there. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. So, okay, so I'll show you how I do this. I think this is probably the easiest way, is you just use that, just kind of pick it up. Because once you tap it on there, and then you kind of just to where it's like that, you picked it up, and you just push it down with your fingers, just kind of get it to roll down. Just like that, you know, and then just use your X-Acto knife to kind of like push it in on the bottom, you know, together, you know, and some will wrap all the way around and some may not, but that's kind of how I get them all. I'll do a few more and then I'll do them all. It's just hard to get the grip on all these. Do this one there. And see, sometimes it just stays on there right away. And you don't want to push down real hard or anything like that. You know, just kind of, just so it stays on. That one. This is why I said, you know, these things are kind of like snowflakes. You're not going to ever see one exactly the same because each one is different. They kind of look alike, but they're going to be different. So, see, it's not so hard once you get the hang of it. You'll be making a bunch of these. Whoa, whoa, see, stuff like that'll happen. Mishaps. With an X-Acto knife, you gotta be careful. So just like that. Push down with the X-Acto knife. Grab another one. Tap it down. Go around. Tap it down. Just like that. So I'm going to do the rest of these so you don't have to sit here and watch me do the other half. So see you in a second. Alright, so I got it all done here. All these have the little green piece of clay, this one. So, yeah, they're coming out. Alright, so what we'll do is put the cap back on this guy so it's not rolling around everywhere. This clay, so we're done with that. So this is the time where we gotta bake these guys. So we're gonna end up baking them for 10 minutes. And like I said before, I was already working on a batch of these guys, and here they are. And this is how I usually do it. I have just a little tiny oven that I use. I don't necessarily use the big oven in my house because my wife wouldn't like that. So we're gonna put these guys here. Now on these ones here, I did use the bigger hook that I usually use, and those are the octopus hooks here on the top. Let's get this right here. Separate these guys a little bit. And you don't have to put anything down on the aluminum or anything. No oil or nothing. No nothing for it to stick or anything. Just plain aluminum foil. Okay, so move this out of the way. So there you got it. I got a couple of these packs of hooks ready to go into the oven. So what you want to do is bake these all for 10 minutes at 300 degrees. And as soon as they come out of the oven, just let them cool off. So let's throw these in the oven. We'll be back as soon as they're done. Alright, so these little things are out of the oven. And when you take them out of the oven, you don't want to try to cool them off faster by putting them into the refrigerator or anything like that. Or you don't want to do that. Just let them cool off by themselves. You know, just let them take their time and let them cool off. Shouldn't take too long. They're real little, and they'll cool off fairly quickly. So we'll wait for them to cool off and we'll be back. Alright, so these things have cooled off. So I usually give them a tap. They usually just come right off, you know. Boom. Look at that. Whole handful of them. Awesome. We'll get rid of the pan. Move these aside. Bring back my piece of paper. dump those in there. Check it out. There's tons of hooks there. And I'm going to paint all these the same way. So, it ain't really going to matter, you know. But yeah. Check all those out. We're going to paint all those little guys. Kind of don't look like nothing on the paper, does it? But okay, so I got a bunch of paintbrushes, and I know I've gone over the paintbrush deal. You know, make sure you have a bunch of different size tips and stuff. So on these guys, I'm going to be using this glow-in-the-dark paint. Make sure you shake your paints before you use them. So that's what I'm using on this, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. If you're watching this video for the first time, got it at Hobby Lobby. It wasn't too much. It was probably under $8 or so, and this one seems to be working pretty well for me. And I got a little thing here that all this is just a piece of foam from those like pool noodles. This piece came off of packaging from a computer my daughter bought, and she didn't want it, so she gave it to me, and I cut a piece of it off, and that's what that looks like. It's this material here. They usually give it to you when you buy computers and stuff. I usually save it for stuff like this. So yeah, give your paint a good shake. I'm gonna want to cover and get these all painted, so I'll do a few of them. Like I said, I want to get it nice and shook up. This is glow-in-the-dark paint, so you want to make sure that this is pretty good and shook up. Okay, let's get this going. What I do usually is I look inside of the cap there and make sure there's no big old boogers, and if there is, you just clean those out like an ice cream stick or something. You know, get rid of those nasty chunks there. Get all those out. And it's just because I don't want all those chunks to get stuck to the paint brushes and then have a booger up. Alright. So what I'll do is pour a little bit just in there. You don't have to fill it all the way. And if you spill some over to the side there, then just use a paintbrush and clean up your mess. Just like that. Put it right back into the bottle. Just like that. And we'll set that aside. Since we're just working with this for now, we'll just do that. And let's see if it'll be easy for me to just use this. If not, we have some of these little guys. You can get these at like Home Depot. They're just little utility clips, I would say, but they work pretty good. Like, grab there. There you go. Seems to hold pretty good. So what we're gonna do is get these all covered up paint. Should we blow them off? Seem to pick a few little particles in the baking process, but there you go. Just start painting them up. And even though you have the green and it seems like you're gonna cover up that green line, it's alright to go over it. Just, give it a brush, a good brush. Go over it like that, towards the end. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you want to go heavy on this stuff. You don't want to gimp out on the glow-in-the-dark paint, for sure. See if this works. Just stab it there. And that's one there. See if we can do this with another one. And so yeah. Fairly easy. Time consuming. But easy. I think I started doing this around 11 o'clock p.m. And it is now 1:26 a.m. Kind of nocturnal like that. But I like doing this stuff. I don't know if you guys like doing this kind of stuff, but I do. There's another one. Stick that in there. It doesn't take much. That's why I like using this pool noodle stuff, because it really doesn't take much for you to stick it on there, and you just like barely put it on there, and it's on there. This works pretty good. So we'll do this other one, and then I will pause this camera, go check on my dog, make sure she doesn't need to go outside, because she'll wake everybody up. I got hardwood floors, and her little toenails, they make a lot of noise. So like I said, be generous with this glow-in-the-dark paint, because you want that stuff to be thick. Real thick. I mean, and if you're worried about all those little fingerprint imperfections that you see in them, before, like I'll show you on here. I don't know if you can really see it on there, but there's some like little fingerprints from you molding the clay. But once you get them all painted, all that goes away. All that goes away. Look at that. I was sitting there showing you, and I didn't use the clip. Duh. It's alright, look. Knock it out. Knock it out. Like I said, be generous. Be generous. I mean, after all, you buy one of these little bottles of glow-in-the-dark paint, and for the price you pay, you're gonna paint a lot of these little guys. A lot. The only thing is that like I said before, it's a tedious process, but like I said, I like doing things like this. So alright, I'm gonna continue the rest of these and then get back to you. Alright, so here's this last one I'm gonna paint. So we're getting all these painted up. Get them all covered up. I mean, and if you don't have one of these pieces of foam, I mean, you could probably use a piece of that wire like I used on the first video. It'll just be a little bit more tedious, I guarantee you that, because I have done it like that with the wire. So okay, so we're all done painting it. Whatever paint is left over here, I'm gonna kind of put it back in there. Screw that on tight. And like I said, this is that glow in the dark, that deco art, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. Alright, so what we're gonna do with these guys now, so I'll turn these around a little bit so you guys can all see that. But yeah, we got all these guys done. So what you want to do is let these guys dry. Now you can either let these guys dry on their own, because by the time you get to the last one, well, the way I usually do it, by the time I get to the last one, they're usually dry, so I'll repaint them again. So what you want to do is let them dry and go over them one more time with the glow in the dark paint. So you want to paint all of them all over again with the glow in the dark paint. So yeah, let them dry, and you'll know when they dry, because like this first one here, if you touch it, it's pretty dry. So it's dry enough to go over with the second coat. So by the time you get to the last one, you could already start painting this one here all over again and keep going. So paint them twice, 2 times with the glow in the dark paint. I'm not gonna bore you with that, so I will shut it off. We'll see you again. Alright, so here we got these all done. They have the second coat, and it is the next day. I was up till about 2:30 last night, so, or I should say this morning. But got those all painted up, and what we're gonna start to do now is paint them with the different colors. I mean, if you want to try them out, you can put them under some light, and see if they glow. Just kind of get them in a dark spot, just kind of get them in there, but they do glow. I tried them last night. When I shut everything down, they started to glow. So we're gonna get some paint now and start to do just a little of the detail for these. Alright, so the colors I'm going to be using is black. I'm going to use this black, and this is just like those cheapy paints that you can buy at Walmart. They're only usually about $1. I don't think that you need to, anything better than that, but these are just some of the other ones I used to have from when I used to race RC cars, so it's kind of left over. But I'm going to use this fluorescent green, and then this is a green that's pearlized. And I buy these at Hobby Lobby. They're about $5 each. They're a lot more expensive than these, but the difference is that these are airbrush ready and you can run them through your airbrush. These you can't, so don't try to put this through your airbrush. No good. And you gotta thin this out in order for you to run it through your airbrush, so that's a whole other process. So okay, gonna make sure you shake up your paints all the time. Again, we're going to use that clip to hang on to them. And you can buy these at Home Depot. They're like $1 or under $1. I'm not sure, And then I got this little, it's just a piece of wire, I just kind of curled up the end there. And then this is what I usually use this for, is to make dots, I make the little black dots on these things, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Is we're going to be putting some black dots on these guys just to kind of distinguish that they're in the water. So I'm going to start with, let's go with this, the pearlized green. Put a little bit in there. I don't need too much. These lures ain't very big. Set that aside. And on this one, I'm gonna be using like a thinner paintbrush. So I'm using like I would say, a chisel point. It looks like a little chisel point. But yeah, get that. And the paint, and you want to try it out. I mean, give yourself some, make sure you get that paintbrush soaking with paint before you start painting. Yeah, I believe we're ready now. So, pick one of these guys up with the clip. And I only want just to accent some of these, that's it, And I usually don't do like really big brush strokes when I'm doing this, because I don't really want it to smear, so I kind of just dab it where I really want it and try to get it on fairly thick. So I just want kind of the backs of it with a little bit of it there. Maybe just a little bit more. And I would say that this part is probably the most tedious of it all, is getting the painting of them. But once you get a good rhythm going, then Get them going like that. So you start with that color and do them all. Start with your color there, and then you hook it up again there so it'll dry. So by the time you do all of them, they should be ready for the next phase of the paint. So I'll do a couple more, and then I'll pause this camera this way. Like I said, I'm not gonna bore you to death doing all of these, but I'll just dab that there, dab, dab. And don't be afraid to use paint. I mean, just dab it. Just like that. Get this guy. Do this guy. And there's so many patterns you can make with these, and you just never know which ones work. But these ones I've tried, and they work pretty good. Well, as you guys can see in some of those videos I posted, we went fishing. We used a couple of these, so went to Bear Creek and caught a bunch of trout there with these. So yeah. Alright, so I'll continue to go, and I'll turn it back on as soon as I'm all done. Alright, so we're done painting all these with that green color there. And they seem to be dry to the touch. It's not sticking. So I think we're good to go. What the next part? Okay, so what I was thinking is using this fluorescent green now. So we started with the pearlized green, so that's what's on there now. And now we're gonna go with just some plain fluorescent green, or day glow green, whatever they call it. Make sure you shake your paints. Oh wow. It's kind of old. There it goes. Get a little bit of that out. And what I'm going to do is rinse this brush off. And just use some warm water. Make sure you keep your brushes clean. I actually forgot that I didn't clean this one off. It's already starting to dry a little, but we got it. And these little cups or little containers that I just usually buy these at like a dollar store. Alright, get a paper towel. Up here. Get them all cleaned up. Okay. Nice and clean. Set that aside. So you got your green paint. And my brush is all clean. So we'll put that away and put that to the side. So that's where this little wire will come in handy, or if we need it to be thicker, then I just got this little Allen wrench, and you can use whatever, you know, just different diameters. I mean, if it doesn't work, well, then we can use a drill bit. You can use those, the end of a drill bit. And what I do with that is, like, I'll try a few areas and just try to, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll do a few dots just like that. And what we'll do is we'll do that, and you just got to practice and see how much paint it takes to get the dot that you want. So it's gonna take a pretty heavy, so I'm just getting the tip, you know, dunk it in there, give it a dab, and there's a perfect dot. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, as long as you can tell what it's gonna be. So again, here we go with one of these guys, and what I'm gonna do with this is just kind of put some dots. Yeah. Yeah. It's random. Doesn't have to be. So here you go. Little dots. Just like that. Then the next one. And you gotta keep loading this up because it is just a metal, you know, it's not gonna soak up any paint, so you always gotta make sure you got enough paint on there. There we go. And so forth. So I'm gonna do the rest of these, and again I'll shut it off and then get back to you. Alright, so we're back and we're done with all the dots, all the fluorescent green dots. So put the green back in there. Oh, sorry about that, that's my phone. Put that back in there and put the lid back on this one. And we'll get ready for some black. Now you want to make sure you clean off your Allen wrench. Make sure it doesn't have any paint. And since this little piece of wire is a lot thinner than this Allen wrench in diameter, I'm going to try to use this one, because I do want the black dots to be smaller. So again, I'm just using this the cheapy kind there, the dollar kind from Walmart. They're called apple barrel paints. Make sure you mix them up. Okay. Sure there'll be enough on the lid, but just to be, oh, big old hair. Alrighty. My wife's hair seems to find its way everywhere, but it's alright. So again, you know, give it a dab. I got that wire, and oh yeah, oh yeah. I like that. I don't want really big giant dots. I just want something I can maybe, just get in there like that. And I like using the black to, just kind of accent these guys. So I'll grab one of these guys and use that clip. It's easier to handle with the clip, So I'm just gonna throw, you don't have to put many of these, I like to just put a few on each side, like 3 dots, not very big. Do that first one again. There we go. Just like that. I'll redo these. These are not too dark, but another dab, dot, dab, dot. Boom. There it is. 3 on each side, and that, I think, makes the top of that lure stand out. Just with those 6 little black dots. And I'm gonna do that with all the rest of them. And these should dry fairly quickly. I mean, they're just dots. I mean, if you don't line them up perfectly, oh well. There we go. Pretty cool. Ooh. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these. Go ahead and pause it. I'll get them all done and we'll come back. Alright, so I'm all done painting those dots on all these lures, so I had plenty of time to dry, and I know it did because I actually went inside and made dinner for all my family. That's the magic of YouTube. Voila. So these are all dry. Well, last part we're gonna do is do the little eyeballs, which I'm gonna do in this hot pink. And this is one of those Hobby Lobby ones. Like I said, always shake your paint before you use it. Open that up. I'm not gonna use that much, so I'm not gonna pour any into the cap this time. And so, you know what I'm gonna do, just to make this a little easier and a little bit faster. So I'm gonna take these all off of here because I know they're all dry. It's been a while. Whoop. Alright. We're not gonna move that too far either, because we're still gonna hook them on there. Okay, so where did my little clip go? Oh, here it is over here. Okay, here's your clip. And here I'm using just a drill bit because I wanted something a little bigger than both of the other ones I was using before. So just go through your drill bits and see whatever size is gonna please you, but try it on a piece of paper before you do it. And that looks good to me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start dabbing these eyes on here. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So, start stabbing them into your pool noodle stuff. Grab another one. Boom. Just like that. So I'll do one other one and then I'll pause it and do the rest. And you know the routine already. Boom. Pretty snazzy. I kinda like it. Awesome. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and do the rest of them and then I'll come back after they're all done and dry. Alright, so I got all the eyes done. So I'm going to give these a chance to dry up now. And then we will do the last color, which is going to be the black once again. And what I want to do is put just a little black dot right in the middle of the pink that we just did. So we'll just let these dry up just for a little bit longer and then we'll go back to that. Alright, so all these are dry enough. We're going to use the black now. This should be the last little painting step before we let them dry overnight, I would say. And then you can start to seal them. I'm just trying it and testing it on some of those pink spots. See how it's gonna look. I'm liking it. Alright. So I'm gonna grab one of these guys here. Make sure you got enough paint. Right in the center. There you go. That's the last step. Alright. Pretty cool. Do another one. Now this one, it takes kind of a really steady hand to try to get it right in the middle, but it'll come out. I'll do this last one and then do the rest. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to give him some goofy eyes and make him look all crooked, then go for it. I don't think the other fish are gonna care what it looks like. Check it out. Alright. So I'm gonna do the rest of these and then we'll come back. Alright, so we're ready for the last, almost the last step. So we are gonna seal these things up now. And I don't know if you remember watching that revised video where I actually show you what I use to seal them up, but this is actually the stuff that I use, and I get this at Hobby Lobby, and this is what it looks like. And it's a 5-minute epoxy, and then what that means is it just cures in 5 minutes. So you got about 5 minutes of working time, and of course that also all depends on what temperature it is and where you're working at. So you know, you want to be working with this stuff at between 70 degrees or so, 74, you know, just regular room temp or whatever. But if it's like super hot in here, like during the summertime, then it will cure a lot faster and it'll take off on you. So that's why I kind of like making these things, you know, during the fall and the winter time, because stays nice and cool out here. So what I've done is I've taken them all off of this thing, and I put them all out on this piece of paper, and just kind of getting them ready, because I'm gonna get ready to seal all these, and I'm gonna use this 5-minute epoxy. So what you end up doing is you mix equal amounts of this, of the same amount, into like a little mixing cup, and I usually just stir it with an ice cream stick. And if you ain't got none, go buy some popsicles and start eating. So 5-minute epoxy, we're gonna get this cruising. I'm gonna get one last final setup and go over where you're working, the area that you're working, because once you mix this stuff up, I mean, there's no taking it back. I mean, it's gonna start hardening the moment that you mix these two together. So on these guys here, I am gonna add the glitter, and that's this stuff here, super fine glitter, and I'm not gonna add very much into that. So yeah, so we'll get started here. Just I'll go over everything, double check everything, and all these should have a, yeah, they have a safety seal. So I'll go ahead and take those off, make sure that everything is kosher, and when we're ready to rock and roll, I'll do a couple of those for you. Alright, so we're ready to rock and roll and get some of these started. So let's start mixing some of this epoxy up. Make sure cup's clean. Well, alright. let's try this once again. Make sure you put your caps back on when you're not using them. And there you go, equal portions. I mean, you're gonna have to, if you want to get it super precise, then use a scale or something. But anyways, very little of this stuff, very little. And don't spill it. Ever. Notice how I hold it with 2 fingers every time? Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna mix this stuff up. And I got my clamp ready here. Let's get one ready to go. Because once you start mixing this, it's gonna start to take off. So I'll do as many as I can do with what I have here, so you can see how fast it actually does take off. So it's not real easy to do this part of it. This is actually, I think, one of the hardest parts at doing this stuff, but it works. And you're going to want to get a paintbrush that you're going to not want to use again, because this stuff kills your paintbrushes. So once you've used it, that's it. Okay, so once you mix that up, let's put this one, put that over here in that trash container there. And I got these little brushes here that I don't really care for destroying. So you get your resin, dump it in there, get it nice and globby, and just start covering them. Like I said, you want to work quick and make sure that you're kind of pretty much thorough in covering the whole lure, because if it gets to that water, gets to the clay, then eventually it'll just soften up and turn to mush. And notice how it only makes little batches at a time, because whoa, uh-oh, I have to clean that up right away because it's a new pad. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that one over here now. Let that start to dry. Make sure I clean that up right away. Grab another one. And again, you gotta want to work pretty fast with this stuff. Starting to get warm already. Unbelievable. But like I said, as it gets warmer, it actually gets easier to brush on. So that's a bonus. It almost feels like this is already starting to take off. And yep, it is starting to harden up. So like I said, look at that. Before you know it, it's done. So that's toast. And like I said, it's that fast. So I mean, I mixed that much and I was only barely able to get 2.5 done. So can you imagine having to do all those? But I don't mind doing it. We're gonna put this one to the side here for a sec. And yeah, this stuff hardens fairly quick. Yeah, it's done. So as you can see, you pretty much get the picture. So this one's got sealed there. And I mean, it's gonna be hard, and nothing's gonna pretty much, well, I mean, if you get a hammer and you smash it, then I'm sure it'll break, but for the abuse that a fish is gonna do on it, no. It's perfect. So there you have it. Once you seal all of them, let them dry. I mean, you can touch them after, I would say, about an hour or so. I'm sure you can probably handle them. But I don't like to touch them for a whole 24 hours because the glue, the epoxy does dry, but it stays kind of tacky. So when you touch it, it will actually leave your fingerprints on there. So you don't want to mess with them. I don't mess with them until, 24 hours, and then I'll get them, clean up if there's any glue stuck to the point on your hook. Just get a little X-Acto knife, and clean it off. Just kind of scrape it off. If you feel like the hooks, are not sharp enough, go ahead and get a file and sharpen it if you need to. I'm sure, everybody's done that one time or another, is resharpen the hook. But there you go. That's how I do them. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of these lures. I want to thank you for watching. Thanks to the people who subscribe to my channel. You're the best. And hopefully I can do some different lures for you guys on another video. Peace out. God bless.